Yeah, so we're gonna be learning how to play the perfect piano intro for any song. I know this is a major challenge for some people. Some people don't know how to go about intros. You know, when they have maybe a choir piece or a musical piece, they're like, how do I play intros for this? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? What do I... Oh, hello everybody. Good evening. Yeah. How are you doing today? Good evening, everybody. And you know how we do it. You let me know where you're watching from. And the next thing you have to do is to share this video so everybody can benefit also. Everybody can watch. It's going to be a nice one. I'm going to try to be fast today because I'm feeling a little bit sleepy. So I'm going to try to be fast today. So how do you create a perfect piano intro for any song? It's easy. So let's wait for some people to join, the latecomers. Well, I like this chord. Okay, so how to play the perfect piano intro for any song. So we'll be kicking off right away. So now, when you look at a song or a musical piece of any music, there are 4 different ways you can create a perfect intro, which I'm going to be explaining to you. And in the course of this explanation, I might do some smaller explanation in between, and it's going to be really fun. So the next thing I want to tell you is we're going to see how we're going to apply this to real-time situations and try to put you in such situations for you to see how you can apply this. It's going to be very, very interesting. So the first way to play an intro, the perfect piano intro for any song, is by using something called arpeggio. I'm going to show you how arpeggio sounds. This is not arpeggio anyways, I'm just having fun. So the first way to create this perfect piano intro for any song is by using arpeggio. Now, for those latecomers coming now, please tell me where you're watching from, and don't forget to share this video. So you just tell me, I'm watching from here, and you share the video. Very beautiful. That will be very lovely. I'm gonna appreciate that so that more people can watch. And also, I get to give you a shout out. If I see your comment, I get to give you a shout out. So that's how we do it right away. A live shout out from me during my live video. Very lovely. Okay, so I said the first way to play perfect piano intro for any song is by using arpeggio. Now, what is arpeggio? Arpeggio is breaking chords into single notes. So if I hold a chord like this, is a major 7 chord, F major 7 chord. Now, if I want to break it into an arpeggio, I'm going to do something like this. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm not playing the chord at once anymore. I'm playing the arpeggio version of the chord. So I'm now doing the chord as broken notes. In fact, this arpeggio is mostly used by bassists because a bass player cannot just go and hold chord. It's going to sound funny. So most times bassists, they like to play on arpeggios. They play the same chord you play. If you're going to go to chord 4, whatever chord 4 is this, they play this chord, but they can't play chords like this. It's going to sound too cloggy, so they break it down. So instead of doing this, a regular bass player would do this. You understand? So that's arpeggio. So if you've been hearing the word arpeggio, 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 as much as you've been hearing it, this is just everything about arpeggio. It's just breaking down chords into single notes and playing them as single notes instead of playing them at once. So if they say arpeggio, if they say, can you play C major 7 chord as an arpeggio? What you have to do is this. This is it. They say, can you play C major 7 chord as a chord? So how do you use arpeggio as an intro, a perfect intro, the perfect piano intro for any song? It's very easy peasy. So the first thing you want to do is you think of whatever progression you want to flow on. Would you think of, okay, what progression do I want to flow on in this particular song? Then once you've gotten the progression first, then you're good to do your intro. For example, if I want to do this intro, for example, I want to do a progression for chord 1 on F, chord 4, then chord 5, then chord 4. Playing arpeggio, I'll do something like this. Created an intro for chord 1, 4, 5. Now this is at the beginner's level. There's the professional's level where I'm going to show you, and the intermediate level. But put it at the back of your mind, or at the front of your mind, or at the middle of your mind, or anywhere in your mind, that you can use arpeggio to create or to play the perfect piano intro for any song. You understand? So I gave you an example. If you're going to play chord 1, chord 4, chord 5 as the progression, what you have to do first of all in any song you want to create an intro, all you have to do is first decide what progression you want to play that intro on. So for an example, we've selected this intro, this progression, chord 1, chord 4, and chord 5, chord 4 as the intro. So now, this is the progression we've selected. Now, we want to use arpeggio to play the perfect piano intro for this song. So we start doing something like this. This is it. Now, if we choose another progression for the intro, we can do something like this. 6, 5, 3, 4. That's the progression we've chosen for the intro. We can now break this into arpeggio. So something like this. We'll go again. So there's no limit to how you can actually do this. You just depend on how creative you can be. So creativity, yeah, that is it. So me, I've built myself to the level where I can do arpeggio to sound like this. Created my own intro. So you see, so it depends on the creativity you're looking out for. So every song has a different progression. So you can decide also. Remember what I told you? I said we have 4 ways to create the perfect piano intro. So the first way that I'm showing you now is the arpeggio. We still have 3 more ways that I'm going to explain. And I said you can choose from a chord, you can choose from a progression first. You have to say, okay, this is the progression I want to create this intro for. You decide on the progression you want to create the intro for, which I gave you an example. Now, another way you can do this thing is, you look at for the song, what progression is the song? Then you can play an intro that is related to the progression of the song. For example, if I take a song like this, that is on I wouldn't tell you something on my mind. I wouldn't show you love. So this is like the song. I wouldn't tell you something on my mind. There you go. I wouldn't show you love. Then I know the intro, the progression of the song is 6, 5, 4. Then 6, 5, 1. all I can do now is to convert this progression into arpeggio and play it as an intro, something like this. I'll do it again. Perfect. So you see what happens then when I do, then I will now go, the singer will now go, I will never show you love. What did I even sing at that point? I will never show you care. So it depends. So you see what happened. So you've used the progression of the original song to create an intro, but the intro you're creating is based off arpeggio. Then you remember the progression we created is based off this progression: 1 and 6 5 4 and 6 5 1. Now you played it based on regular chords. Now let's do it in the professional way. It's going to sound something like this. So you can get really creative with arpeggio and become a master of it. So that's it. One way you can play the perfect piano intro for any song. So this works on any song at all, any song. So it's up to you to become creative and expand on what I've shown you right now. You know, you can expand. But just before we go to the second way you can play the perfect piano intro, let me give you one of my own creativity. So let's say we have a song like should I take a very popular song? Okay, John Legend. So you know the song. Let's say, and who would I wanted to take it high, but that's too high. You want to tear my throat. And what would I do? I can actually hit it though. And what would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. But that's too high. So I'll take on the low octave. And what would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. I'm going to explain this in the second part, the second perfect piano intro for any song. I'm going to explain what technique they use in the original version of John Legend, All of Me. But then, if this is the progression of the song, 6 4 1 5, you can now play arpeggio as the intro. So you can do something like this. See how it sounds very cool. So there's no limit to what you can do. So start using arpeggio as an intro for songs, and it's going to be very perfect. So the next one I want to do is chord. You can use block chords or chords for intro to play the perfect piano intro. For example, when you know this popular song John Legend, All of Me, it started like this. So we see, and what would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You've got my head spinning, and no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I am your magical mystery ride. I feel like singing now. But you see, what happened in this particular song is they used the block chord pattern. They used the chords as an intro. So instead of doing instead they used chord. Wait, just gonna fix up something. Something keeps dragging one down, so I'm gonna fix up something right now. Delete, and you delete, and you delete. Testing 1, 2. Okay, so good. We have our clear sound back. Okay, so you see what happened? They use the block chords. They use chords. So you don't have to always use arpeggio. You can also use chords. Understand? You can also use chords. So you can choose the song. For example, All of Me, it was a chord version. Now, if you look at this song, I'm going to show you songs example that they use. Now, remember this song, Adele. What's that Adele song? See, this is Adele, Hello by Adele. What's it? Hello, it's me. I've been wondering if after all these days we'll get to meet to go over everything. So you see, they used block chords. They use chords as an intro for this particular song. So it's very easy. When you just think about any chord you want to use, but most of the times people use chords that are related to the song, to the progression of the song, to create the perfect intro for that song. So if this particular song is chord 1, 3, chord 6, 1, 3, 4, they just use it as an intro. However, you can even get crazy. So for example, if I wanted to do something like that, I would have done something like this. So the other way. See what's happening? I've created my own intro. You can decide to create intro like this. All I'm creating is intros for different songs. I've given you the first one. The first one I said by using arpeggios. The second one I said by using chords. Now, the third one. Oh, I love the third one. I so much love this particular third one. Should I tell you? Should I show you? So if you already say, I am ready for this third one. So, this particular third way of creating the perfect piano intro for any song is by using rhythmic patterns. Rhythmic patterns. It is totally different from arpeggio patterns that I explained earlier. Now, rhythmic pattern sounds something like this. Something like this. What I mean is this. In arpeggio, if you have a chord, now take it slowly so that you can understand. In arpeggio, if you have a progression of chord 1, chord 4, chord 5, chord 4, arpeggio, you're only playing the notes of that chord, breaking it down, and either you're playing it forward, or you're playing it backwards, or you're playing it scattered. But rhythmic pattern, you can repeat one note 2 times. So in the rhythmic pattern, for using it to create a perfect piano intro for any song, you can do something like this. You see, it's totally different from arpeggio. Although rhythmic pattern, you can do arpeggio in rhythmic pattern. You can still use chords if you want, but it's a kind of repetitive feel within a tone. Do you understand? Or within notes. Do you understand? It's a catchy, repeated rhythmic pattern that sets up the songs or groove. That's it. So in arpeggio, you're just doing, this is the chord. So you're concerned with notes of the chord mostly. So arpeggio, you're doing something like this. Or you go backwards. But rhythmic, you can play a note twice. You can do something like this. So rhythmic intro for a 6-5-4 progression song can sound something like this. See what happens. So I'm using rhythmic patterns. I'm using rhythmic patterns right now. So everything boils down on your level of creativity. So everybody's level of creativity is totally different. You understand? Everybody. Let's see. I just got a message now. So everybody's level of creativity is totally different. So you can find your own beautiful rhythmic pattern for any intro. So let's use the popular song I was using. And what would I do without your smart mouth? Join me in and you kicking me out. Now this is the chords. Now if I want to play rhythmic pattern, I can just do something like this. But if it is arpeggio pattern I wanted to use as an intro, this is all I would have played. You see, because I'm only concerned with playing arpeggio with those chords. But if I'm using rhythmic, I'm repeating some notes in between and even creating some melodies to form something. So I'm doing something like this. So if you take a song, have you heard this Beyonce song, Hello or Hello? You see, if you hear it, they used a rhythmic pattern as an intro for that song. So something like this. See? Then go. Remember those words built, yeah. Baby, they are tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even, what was that? I've even forgotten. They didn't even make a sound. I found nowhere to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got, what's that? I got my engine now. It's like I've been awakened. Every word you break it, it's a risk that I'm taking. But you see, they started the song with rhythmic intro, which is sounds nice, yeah. However, let us take notice of this. You can now combine the first pattern, the second pattern, and the third pattern to actually make your intro. It's not compulsory that you can just use just one. You can combine arpeggio pattern, you can combine the chords pattern, you can combine the rhythmic pattern. So it's not like just one pattern that you can use. You can combine the three patterns to make the perfect intro that suits your song. So for example, you can do something like this. This one now is arpeggio. So So by the time they did, this is rhythmic now. So this is still rhythmic. So D is chord that combine three patterns to make something very interesting, beautiful. And you see, that is why when you listen to all these songs, they sound so emotional and beautiful. These are most of the techniques they use. So try using all these techniques and see how your intro is going to be beautiful. You see, you don't really need to stress yourself when creating the perfect intro for any song. Cool. The first tip is know what progression is that. Then you move to it and it's beautiful. Now, the fourth way you can actually do this to create the perfect intro for any song. This fourth one is by playing a total different progression. That's an abstract progression from the original progression of the song. See, forget all this big grammar I'm speaking. Forget the big grammar and focus on the lesson. You understand? And sometimes you try to, so forget all the big grammar. Is this particular intro, creating the perfect piano intro for this song, for any song, it means it is by using abstract progressions. So for example, remember this song by Beyonce. Remember those walls we built, where baby they are tumbling down. This is the progression. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found nowhere to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of hello, I got my engine now. It's like I've been awakened. Now this is the progression. 1, 2, 6, 4. That's the progression. But now I want to create an intro from abstract, so I can do something like this. I can do something 1, 2, 3, go. So you see what happens now. Then you start singing. Remember those words with beauty. See, baby, they are tumbling down. And they didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. So I didn't use the regular progression of this song. I used something abstract. And that's why when you listen to some music, you listen to it, you see that the intro of the song, as it's coming, it's hitting you from somewhere, it's hitting you from somewhere, and boom, when the song starts, it's a total different progression altogether. Wow. Clap for me. Now you don't want to clap for me. So that is what happens. So they use these abstract progressions to create their intro. So this, what it gives is, it gives this kind of special tension, you know, and it makes you want to stay glued to the music, because you're like, what is going to happen next? What's going to happen next? I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know what's going to happen. And you know, because you want to know what's happening, it makes you listen to the song more than you're supposed to listen to it. For example, if I do something like this, and this is one way people do in syncopations also anyways. So let's pick the other song we're using, All of Me. The regular intro was a chord intro, which they did something like this. This is a regular intro, very simple. 4, 1, 5. Now, imagine me playing something abstract as an intro. Maybe me doing something like this. See what happens. So I did something else. So for this first one that I did abstract, you'll be like, what's happening? What's happening? And boom, someone starts singing. So it causes this kind of sweet kind of feel. I like it. I use it sometimes. But you have to be very careful. When I teach, I start to go from beginners, then I go to advanced. So this one now is advanced. You have to be very careful. A lot of people use it, especially those people who create syncopations. For example, if I'm doing something like, the same all of me, and I want to create a syncopation for this song. See, I've created a syncopation with it. So you know what syncopation is? Syncopation creates tension, but it's like it's usually outside the usual progression of the song. You get to create tension. So this is how you can create a perfect piano intro. Just think of something abstract, something outside the progression. You don't have to do something too complex. You can make it as simple as you want. But like I said, all this depends on your level of creativity. But you can always start from whatever level of creativity you have on you and expand and become better. So now, you can now apply every single one I've shown you. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. You understand? You can apply all to create a very beautiful intro for any song. Now, they give you, so let me give you an assignment. Your first assignment is create an intro for this progression. Chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 2. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 2 progression. So if we say we have our chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 2 as the progression we want to create an intro for. Let's start with arpeggio. We are now applying all we've done. So let's start with arpeggio. Arpeggio is going to sound like this. This is arpeggio. If I was supposed to use an arpeggio, this is how it should sound. Now the second one, if we are going to use chords, it's going to sound something like this. Again. Going to use chord to create the intro, it's going to sound like that. Now, if I'm going to use the rhythmic pattern, there's going to sound like this. That's for the rhythmic pattern. Now, if I'm going to use the abstract progression, then it's going to sound something like this. Go again. See? Mind blowing. Mind blowing. Then you can expand on it and make it even more professional, make it more cool. So, over the years of me producing music for several artists, working with several artists and musicians, I've tried to make sure, because even the music production world, I've tried to make sure that everybody's sound is different. You can differentiate everybody. I don't give you the same sound. You understand? I make sure everybody's sound is different. Now, let me give you a trick in the music business that you don't know. Now, we've learned piano now. We are still learning piano. But let me give you a trick in the music business. Do you know your intro that you created, your own intro that you created, you can copyright it. You can copyright your exact, you cannot copyright progressions. If you created it, if you have a progression for your song, maybe you say chord 6, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4. You cannot copyright it. But let's say you created an intro for this particular progression called 6, something like this. You now did something like this. Chord 2. Chord 3. Chord 4. Let's go again. No other person can copy this particular progression and say it is their own. And this particular intro or melody that you've created, this is your own. This is now your own personal composition. They can use the progression 6/4, 6/2, 3, 4, 5. They can use it, but if you create your own intro, nobody can copy it in the music business. You can copyright it, and nobody can copy it. And that is why, if, for example, you have Beyonce's song that sounds like this. If I use this particular same intro in Beyonce's song to go and release a song, if I use it to go and release a song, I can be sued, and they can shut down my songs from streaming platforms. You understand? They can shut it down from streaming platforms. This is how serious it is. So this is to tell you how important intros can be. Intros are very, very important. Intro is going to tell you or determines how long a listener will listen to a song. So if your intro is boring, if your intro is not interesting, that is it. In fact, your intro should be the most captivating part of the song, because that's the first thing people will hear. So when creating, try to be creative enough. Don't be lazy when creating intro. Spend time, put in emotion, put in your soul, put in your spirit. You understand? Be happy, create it. Then when you create it, it's very beautiful, I'm telling you. So you can copyright. A lot of people make money from intros. They make money from intros. So go work on it. I've given you how many patterns? Over 4 different patterns for you to create a perfect piano intro for any song. So that will be the end of the class today. Bye and see you tomorrow.